So it's 2025, and first of all, Happy New Year. I hope you all had an incredible 2024, and if you didn't, then let's make 2025 a better year for all of us. Now this year is also a pretty big year for gaming in general. There's so many incredible games being released. I mean, where do I start? GTA 6, Ghost of Yotei, Yakuza Pirates, which is my most anticipated game, believe it or not. The new Mafia game, Fable, Avowed, Monster Hunter. You know, there's just so much to even mention. Now 2025 is also a very strange year for Assassin's Creed, because there are quite a few projects that are supposedly releasing this year, as well as some potential reveals. Some that look genuinely interesting and others that leave you scratching your head thinking, why? So let's go over 2025 for Assassin's Creed and get you all up to date on where the franchise stands as of now. As always, be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with everything Assassin's Creed. We're nearing 100,000 subscribers and we are getting closer every day. So with all of that said, let's talk about the first Assassin's Creed title releasing this year. So the first title to be released this year, and the most popular one in this video, is Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I'm sure we all know about by now. For those that somehow don't know, Assassin's Creed Shadows will be the 14th mainline entry, which will take us to feudal Japan in the year 1579 during the Sengoku period. We will have two protagonists, one being a female shinobi assassin named Naoe, and the other being a samurai named Yasuke who existed in real life. Naoe will be the stealth and agile focused character who, let's be honest, I'm sure 90% of us will be playing with the most. And Yasuke is, well, I'm not too sure what Yasuke is apart from being the bigger combat focused character. I literally don't know how he'll even play a role in the story. Of course, the game did get delayed for polishing reasons from the previous release date of November 15th in 2024, and it's now releasing just over a month from me making this video on February 14th, aka Valentine's Day. So for all you solo gamers out there, I think we both know how you'll be spending that day. Now they describe this game as the next evolution of Assassin's Creed, whatever that's supposed to mean, but I'm guessing it's aiming to be a significant step forward from previous AC games, especially when it comes to the technical improvements and advancements. So, you know, just imagine it like this. We've had AC1 to Revelations, AC3 to Rogue, Unity to Syndicate, Origins to Mirage, and now this is the next era? Question mark? I'm not too sure. Now, of course, the delay has very evidently helped out with the game, as the most recent article showing off combat and stealth look quite smooth and polished, compared to like 6 or 7 months ago, where it was early work in progress footage. You can check out my two videos I made going over both articles with new gameplay shown. Now, as of me making this video, there hasn't been any, preview events or early access for specific people, but according to Tom Henderson, previews for the game will be available to press and creators in mid-January this month. So, make of that what you will. I've seen a lot of Ghost of Tsushima comparisons with the more recent gameplay shown, and sure, you cannot deny it, it does look quite similar to that game. But then again, how else do you expect an open world feudal Japan game to look like, especially an Assassin's Creed one? So yeah, the first Assassin's Creed game for 2025 will be Shadows, and pre-orders as of right now are not available. So Ubisoft do need to get their shit together this month, especially when it comes to marketing, because we are now 1 month away, and if they don't have an aggressive marketing campaign in January, then honestly don't be surprised if this game gets delayed again. Hopefully we'll get a story trailer, the other two articles, pre-orders releasing, a launch trailer in February, and maybe a raw gameplay showcase. So yeah, here's to hoping. I will say though, and this is straight up, but this game right here is Ubisoft's last chance in my opinion. If it flops, then I can see some massive changes happening to Ubisoft, whether it's mass layoffs, new management, bankruptcy, and a lot more. When it comes to Assassin's Creed Jade, which is an open world mobile Assassin's Creed game, it's rumored to be released in 2025, and that is according to different sources like GameSpot, Eurogamer and Reuters. Honestly, for a mobile game, it actually surprisingly looks decent. Kind of like Assassin's Creed Odyssey but scaled down for your phone. The game was first announced back in 2022, promising to deliver the franchise's first true open world Assassin's Creed experience for mobile devices. It's set in 215 BCE during China's Qin dynasty, where you'll get to explore landmarks like the Great Wall of China and defend citizens against the Xiongnu. What's pretty interesting is that you'll create your own assassin, which is a first for the series. It was originally planned for a 2023 release but got delayed, probably because Ubisoft and Tencent shifted their priorities. Now here we are in 2025 and the game is still a giant question mark. Now Ubisoft hasn't officially cancelled it, but the silence around it is kind of bizarre. I mean, this is a game that made it to beta testing, and we have even seen gameplay footage from a ton of creators on YouTube. So why the radio silence? Well, some people think the delay is to polish it up, while other people I've spoken to speculate that it might be getting reworked, or even quietly cancelled. There's also a bit of hope floating around that Jade could make its way to console or PC. Even though it's been marketed as a mobile exclusive, it wouldn't be the first time Ubisoft ported something over. Just look at Liberation. That said, Tencent being involved does suggest Jade is likely staying focused on mobile, especially since mobile gaming is such a massive market in China. The timing of all of this is also interesting. With Assassin's Creed Shadows launching next month, Ubisoft might be holding back Jade to avoid stealing some hype. But then again, who's really hyped for Jade, like on a massive level? I don't think there's many. But if Shadows does well, it could boost confidence and pave the way for Jade later this year. But let's be honest, if Shadows flops, who even knows if Jade will survive? So yeah, ultimately Assassin's Creed Jade is still a mystery. For now, all we can do is wait and see what happens with that project. Now let's talk about another very mysterious project that we know is releasing in 2025, but for some reason we know almost nothing about it, and that is the Animus Hub. If the name does not sound familiar, you might have heard of it before as Assassin's Creed Infinity. This live service platform is launching alongside Assassin's Creed Shadows on February 14th next month, but for something that's releasing with Shadows, what even is it? The Animus Hub is basically described by Ubisoft as the single entry point for all things Assassin's Creed. Think of it like something similar to a launcher or a hub, where you can jump between all different Assassin's Creed games, and even continue the modern day story that's been part of the series since the start. Apparently, it's supposed to be a hub that's set to evolve over time, so it will start with Shadows and eventually include other upcoming games like Hex, Invictus, and so on. I'm pretty sure Ubisoft wants this to be the main way we interact with the franchise going forward, and they're even teasing a return of multiplayer features at some point. There were many rumors spreading around that this is going to be some monetized and microtransaction ridden bullshit, but Ubisoft came out and shut those rumors down to mention that it's all free. They pretty much made it clear that there won't be any subscriptions, battle passes or hidden costs, and we would get access to regular updates, new missions and cosmetic rewards without having to pay extra. Now, in a time where so many games seem to have microtransactions, this is a refreshing change. But then again, this is not a game, or is it? I don't know. Is it a good one? I doubt it, because I mean, we don't even need this at all. New leaks have hinted at something similar to a battle pass system in the Animus Hub, but again, all of this is free. For example, the first pass, named Eye in the Dark, supposedly comes with 20 levels of rewards, like cerulean themed outfits and weapons. Other passes like the Hidden Network and the Last Ronin are rumored to follow. Whether or not these details are legit, it seems like Ubisoft are trying to kind of mix progression with story in a way that keeps things moving forward. A big goal of the Animus Hub is to get Ubisoft studios working more closely together. In the past, games like Assassin's Creed were split between many teams like Ubisoft Montreal and Ubisoft Quebec. With its Animus Hub, they're aiming to bring everybody together to make the process smoother and the games feel more connected. I do wonder how this setup will help them create and release content faster. But you know, the big question is whether the Animus Hub will really change how we play Assassin's Creed, or if it'll just feel like another launcher with nothing to it, just like the COD launcher or the Fortnite launcher. Either way, we'll find out soon enough when it drops in February apparently. Now let's talk about one of the Assassin's Creed remakes that is rumored to be released this year, and that is the Black Flag remake. Now out of every game in this video, this is the one where I don't think it could be released in 2025, and that's because of how the delay for Assassin's Creed Shadows affected everything. Now this Black Flag remake has the codename Obsidian, and if the leaks are true, it's releasing sooner than we thought. There's been plenty of speculation where people are saying it might drop as early as late 2025 or early 2026, which does line up with Ubisoft's big plan to release a ton of Assassin's Creed content over the next few years, including Assassin's Creed Shadows and Invictus. Now Ubisoft has not officially announced this yet, but from what insiders are saying, it's well underway. You might be wondering why remake Black Flag, and I agree. I feel like Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 need a remake way more. But then again, Black Flag is a fan favourite for a reason. It nailed the pirate vibe with a great story, great characters and the Caribbean setting. The gameplay does feel a bit dated now, especially when it comes to combat and parkour. A remake is the perfect chance to bring all of that up to modern standards with better controls, smoother mechanics and upgraded visuals. I've seen a thing online where apparently this remake is happening only because of Skull and Bones, which sounds fucking horrendous. Since Ubisoft has already built a lot of naval mechanics for that game, they'd want to just reuse that stuff, and I hope to God that is not true. Otherwise, this is typical lazy Ubisoft. Yes, it's efficient, but it's also very bad for reputation. But what could be different is the engine. The remake is supposedly being built on Ubisoft's upgraded Anvil engine, so expect the graphics to be great. I do hope they don't touch the main story at all. It's just too iconic to mess with, and if they do mess with it, then oh boy, prepare for some backlash. Oh, and if they were to change something, please cut down on the tailing missions. Those were a pain in the ass. You know, I do genuinely think this Black Flag remake could be good for their reputation, because let's be honest, Ubisoft has had a rough time lately, and a lot of it is self-inflicted, so a Black Flag remake could be the pulling factor of bringing back some fans. But with Assassin's Creed Shadows delayed to February next month, this remake might be their next big release to keep fans interested. The delay to Shadows has reportedly shifted the entire release schedule, so the timeline for this remake could still change. Either way, the hype is somewhat there. If Ubisoft nails this remake, which I doubt, such as modernizing the gameplay without losing the appeal of the original, it could be decent. But you know, you always gotta be skeptical on things like this, especially when it comes to Ubisoft. This one isn't confirmed or anything, but honestly don't be surprised if at some point during 2025 we'll get a reveal, a teaser, a trailer or something for Assassin's Creed Invictus. Now Invictus, if you don't know, is all about multiplayer. It's been years since Assassin's Creed dabbled in multiplayer modes, so this kind of feels like a comeback, but with a very strange twist. The game will be part of the Assassin's Creed Animus Hub that I talked about earlier. I made a video going over Invictus and what we know quite in depth. Be sure to check that out, so I'll make it short here. Now from what's been leaked, Invictus is not your standard classic AC multiplayer game like we saw in older multiplayer modes. Instead, it's leaning into a more fast-paced arcade style experience. So imagine in your head it's going to be many rounds with different objectives, power-ups and even strange mechanics like a bubble shield, something similar to Super Smash Bros. And there's talk of modes like free-for-all, team deathmatches, and even a speed challenge where you race to collect points across the map. It is definitely a random ass game, and I don't like the sound of it, I'll be honest, because it just doesn't sound remotely interesting to me. But hey, I could change my mind at some point. If you're hoping to play Invictus this year, then I'd say don't get your hopes up. Ubisoft has not even dropped a teaser for the game yet, which is often step one in their marketing plan. But with events that Ubisoft hold happening every summer, there is a good chance that we'll see a first look at Invictus in 2025. It would make sense for Ubisoft to build some hype, especially since the game is tied to their big Animus Hub project. So why now? Well, Ubisoft has been pretty open about wanting to bring back multiplayer to Assassin's Creed, with Shadows dropping next month and the Black Flag remake rumored for late 2025 or early 2026. Teasing Invictus sometime this year would fit right into their timeline. So will we see anything about Invictus this year? It seems unlikely, but a teaser or reveal feels like the safe bet. This game sounds like it's going to be a strange experiment for the series. Now whether it turns out to be a hit or miss, one thing is for sure, Ubisoft has some balls taking a risk with this. And for the last Assassin's Creed related project, it's Assassin's Creed Netflix. Oh, and by the way, when I say last Assassin's Creed related project, I don't mean everything. I'm only talking about things that will happen and could happen this year. I'm pretty sure there are like 10 to 15 Assassin's Creed related projects in the works that will be released over the years. Anyway, this one is a Netflix series, which yes, sounds random as hell. Remember when Ubisoft announced it years ago? If you're sitting there wondering why it's been so quiet since then you're not alone. It's starting to feel like the show is stuck in some kind of development limbo, because there has not been any real updates for a while now. Back in 2020, Ubisoft and Netflix announced a big partnership to bring Assassin's Creed to life on the streaming platform. It was intended to be multiple projects, a live action series, an animated series, and even an anime. The live action show was supposed to be this genre bending epic, with Ubisoft's Jason Altman and Daniel Krynick as executive producers. But here's the thing, they did not even have a showrunner locked in at the time. Fast forward a bit and the last major update we got was in 2022, when Jeb Stewart, who worked on Netflix Vikings Valhalla, reportedly left the project. And yeah, since then, crickets. It's been completely silent. But you see, here's the thing I noticed. Video game adaptations are quite hard to pull off in an interesting way. Trying to nail the tone, do justice to the source material, and balance fan expectations is a massive challenge. It takes time, and sometimes projects just hit roadblocks. But let's be real, the situation right now for this Netflix thing is a bit stupid, especially when other Netflix and Ubisoft collaborations like The Division and Splinter Cell also seem to be stuck in the same weird limbo. So what is next? Well, honestly, who knows? At this point, it's anybody's guess when or if we'll actually see the show. Netflix is known for taking their sweet time with projects like these. Without a trailer, a cast reveal or any kind of update, it's hard to get intrigued. For now, all we can do is wait and hope Ubisoft and Netflix finally have something to show us soon. Until then, we know fuck all. So there we have it. What are your thoughts on everything happening in 2025 with Assassin's Creed? And do you think we'll see stuff like Jade, the Black Flag remake, and even the Netflix series be teased or revealed this year? A lot of it is speculation for sure, but we'll just have to wait and see. Yes, it's quite evident Ubisoft are milking the hell out of this franchise, and I think they need to take a chill pill, because they're going overboard. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and with that said, I'll see you in the next one.